hoopinhoops.com. Don't forget to give a like, and if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. Now, I know I've not been here for a bit of a while, but you know, at least the recent trade brought me back, and I can't say I'm officially back. I can't say so, but um, we'll see what happens. Okay, so as I said, I think we all heard about the Blockbuster trade that took place yesterday. AD, Anthony Davis, and Max Christie with a 2029 first round pick goes to the Mavs. Luka to the Lakers with Max Kleber, Markieff Morris. I think it was a three-team trade involving the Jazz as well, um, where Rodney, I think, went to the Jazz. And, there are some moving parts with the Clippers as well that involved the Jazz. Um, of course, the Clippers also had other side trades with Tucker as well, but I'll focus on the blockbuster aspect of the Lakers Mavs trade. Before I get into what it really means, let's talk a little bit about what some people are saying. And I'm saying those things in light of reports that it seemed to allude that, or what I should say is that reports seem to allude that, the parties involved in the trade were taken by surprise. By parties, I mean the actual players in LeBron. Um, well, LeBron was not part of the trade, but he was on the team, and when a trade takes place, you expect LeBron to know about it. But AD seemed to have been surprised, given the fact that he was tweeting, um, congratulations on the efforts to his team. Um, Luka, I am guessing, did not was not aware from the reports again. Um, you know, but I would imagine Max Christie. I didn't. I mean, it wouldn't be too surprising that he was not aware initially. Um, but the key players affected by the trade did not seem to know, and the media also seemed to be taken by surprise. There seemed to be minimal leaks with persons who consider themselves insiders. Seemingly got information after the trade took place. Okay. Now this is the thing. While some believe, you know, that the trade came about surprisingly, a lot of other people seems to be, well, not others, but a lot of the very same people, including the insiders, the media personnel, they seem to be putting blame at the feet of Luka. Especially with the reports coming out that the Mavs approached the Lakers. Um, there are those who say that the Mavs were frustrated with Luka for not being, that he's hardly in shape, and issues around, you know his fitness, that his defense was an issue, that the Mavs did not see him capable of leading them to a championship. Some even point to, that they think there may have been a fallout between him and persons in the organization. And I think one of the other things, or not last, because I don't know every single one of them, but one of the other things was that they were saying that he's eligible for a supermax, and the team did not want to give it to him. I guess they also could tie in his contract with leading the team to the championship as well. All of these things, I could tell you, they may be true, and none of them could be true as well. A lot of what is said is persons reaching for explanations which they don't have. And based on their position in the media, they feel obligated to say something. All right? Now, this is what I will tell you. Last year, Luka led the Mavs to the NBA Finals. I do not think anyone would have predicted that they would have gone that far, let alone even win a championship, which they did not win. The Celtics were too formidable, but nobody anticipated they would have gotten there. Okay, I do not think you know his shape had anything to it, or his fitness had anything to do with it. You know, persons seem to have forgotten about his defensive issues on his way to winning the Western Conference championship and going to the NBA finals. All right. I will also say that once he got to the Celtics, the persons brought back his, some issues with defense. And I don't know that that Celtics team with Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, what's that point guard name? White, you know, and others. They have Drew Holiday there as well. And I mean, we could go onto the bench, but that team can score on anyone. So to just simply say, oh, well, well, Luka's defense, not that Kyrie's defense is spectacular either, but I guess persons are saying Luka's defense is worse than Kyrie, which is why they're hopping on Luka's defense. Um, but, you know, persons are saying, you know, though it's at Luka's feet, his defense, his fitness, and so forth. What they forget is that the Mavs took off when Kyrie accepted his role as number two behind Luka, similar to the way he did when he was playing with LeBron. All right? And that is what propelled the team. If the two were going, your turn, my turn, as the way initially when Kyrie and Luka paired up, obviously they were not going nowhere. And you saw their losing record when initially when they were when they joined together. All right? And so that didn't work. But of course, once Kyrie accepted that secondary role, um, the team took off. And it may very well be that, as I said, the supermax to Kyrie, not to Kyrie, but to Luka, may have been something that um, was on the team's mind. I don't know. Uh, it would seem a little funny to me because, from my perspective, Luka is the only true superstar on the team. And I'm not forgetting that Kyrie is there when I say Luka is the only true superstar. You know, um, I will leave that for a different conversation. But you know, but let's move on. This is my thinking. All right. From Dallas point standpoint, I am seeing that the team have three guards, and none of them will be willing to come off the bench. And those three guards I'm thinking is Luka, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson. I don't see either of them truly fitting a small forward position. So, that said, there will not be enough ball for all three of them starting at the same time. You know, by saying there's not enough ball, not just ball handling, but persons would want to get their shots up. You want to get in a rhythm and all of that kind of thing. The other thing is Dallas is lacking an impactful offensive threat up front. How do they do that? They trade the only player, that is Luka, another team will be willing to accept that will give them that kind of impactful player up front. You know? And what this does now, it means the Mavs is taking a huge risk because they're giving up their cornerstone and they're hoping that Kyrie is good enough, close enough to Luka, that he will take the team over the hump. There lies the problem. Kyrie has never been proven as a competent number one or as a leader. And you're starting to see what I mean when I talk about true superstar. All right. Um, he was with the Cavs. He was behind LeBron. Number two. He went to Boston, where he said he wanted to have his own team. He wanted to be the leader. We saw the fiasco that went on in Boston. The team was better with him off. Even when he said he was going, initially he said, he might resign. He bolted across to Brooklyn. When he went to Brooklyn, teamed up with KD, Durant, they kind of shared leadership. We all remember. It's recent enough that we all remembered what happened. They ran him out of town. Okay, he came to Dallas. We saw the time when the team took off was when he let Luka run things, and that took them to the NBA Finals. So, nonetheless, with all of that is said, the only player the Mavs could have traded to get a needle moving center. Well, Anthony Davis is more of a power forward than a center, but a needle moving player up front is for them to give up Luka. Now, of course, we've talked around Joel Embiid, who knows? But I will leave that for a different conversation. The only player that's available up front that could move the needle, and we know Anthony Davis could move the needle when he's motivated. Um, so you know they reached out to the Lakers, and they would have hopefully that backcourt with Kyrie and Clay. Hopefully Clay still have enough in the tank as well, and they have that impact up front. So they will also be able to contend with some of those other teams that have um, impactful players up front as well. From the Lakers standpoint, we know LeBron is 40. Let's start there. All right, LeBron is not going to be there forever, and the Lakers are a superstar-driven team. The Lakers is always in that hunt for that superstar attraction. They just got their superstar for the next 10 plus years. Maybe. Of course, health and all those things come into play, right? LeBron also has expressed a desire for someone to run the team when he's on the bench because we know usually the team offense generally takes a nose dive when LeBron goes to the bench because of his impact. All right. What this trade also does is because they lose Anthony Davis, but they also lost Max Christie, who was in the starting backcourt with Austin Reeves. The Lakers backcourt just improved significantly because now you have Austin Reeves and you have Luka. But the fact that you also lost Anthony Davis means that they've lost some interior defense and offense as well. Okay? What it also does, it creates the opportunity for Jackson Hayes to excel. He has the potential defensively. We know that. Um, the thing is how he's going to perform now that he is that player there. The other thing is the Lakers may not be done because we've heard rumors about they wanting to get Miles Turner. And if they're able to get Miles Turner, that addresses a lot of that interior defense and offense. The other side persons need to look at with this is that they got to think of the Nuggets. The Nuggets has been a thorn in the Lakers' side for a while. By accepting that trade, one could argue, and I'm not saying that is the case, one could argue that the Lakers had Denver in mind, in that by having Luka and Reeves, that would make them as much, or I would say probably more formidable than the Nuggets backcourt when you look at scoring and so forth. Maybe not defense, but Austin Reeves certainly will give them some defense. Luka and Austin will give them, that offense. But up front, you know, the Joker will do what the Joker does, whether AD is there or not. We've seen that. So you let him do what he do. He's gonna get his scoring, but with Rui Hachimura and LeBron up front, hopefully they're getting enough scoring from the front that will take them over the hump against the Nuggets. But you never know. So that's one thing to keep your eye on as well. So stay tuned. Hoopinhoops.com.